The most powerful Pokemon trainers in any Pokemon game are usually going to be the obvious ones, like the champion, your rival, gym leaders, and even the bosses of the evil team. But these are all unique characters, so this makes sense. But there is a trainer class of normal, everyday NPCs that will give you trouble if you overlook them. That being the Ace Trainer class, also called the Cool Trainer class in the first 3 generations. These NPCs will often have powerful Pokemon and even evolved Pokemon that you normally wouldn't see. The AI of these trainers is set to a much higher level than your typical trainer, as they will take advantage of tight matchups and, like gym leaders, can use items. Some even have illegal moves due to their level. Usually these trainers are on Victory Road, as they're most likely on their way to fight the Elite Four themselves, but can appear a lot earlier than that. So, which of these Ace trainers are the best in each game and the hardest to fight? Starting with the first generation games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, where again, they actually are called Cool Trainers, and like the Team Rocket grunts in this game, have a whip to show they mean business. But before we look at the trainers and their teams, there's some important things to note about the AI of Cool Trainers in Gen 1. As we know, Gen 1 is known for being a flawless game with minimal bugs and glitches where everything works like it's supposed to, but the Cool Trainer AI is actually messed up. Every turn, a random number is generated to determine if they will perform a special action, like use an item or switch out a Pokemon. This is supposed to happen 25% of the time. However, the female Cool Trainers will perform this special action 100% of the time. 25% of the time, male trainers will use one of their 2 X attacks, while female trainers will check the Pokemon's HP, and if it's under 10%, they will use a Hyper Potion, or if it's under 20%, will switch them out, potentially leading them to just switch their Pokemon forever. The male Cool Trainers are just better because of this, so that's 1 point for the guys. Sorry, ladies.
Way to go, guys! Let's shoot for 40!
With that being said, there is a female Cool Trainer with a decent team, having just a Persian with its extremely high crit rate and a Ninetales. Still, just 2 Pokemon in Victory Road isn't going to be a challenge. Also, quick note, trainers don't have names in Gen 1. There's a male trainer in Victory Road with an Ivysaur, Wartortle, Charmeleon, and a Charizard, showing the Charizard bias was strong even in Gen 1, but 3 non-fully evolved Pokemon isn't scaring anyone. Who it came down to was the Cool Trainer with an Exeggutor, Cloyster, and an Arcanine, versus the Cool Trainer with a Kingler, Tentacruel, and a Blastoise. While a full water team would be challenging if you chose Charizard, getting through a well-balanced team would be more challenging. I mean, Exeggutor and Cloyster are both OU for RBY competitive, and Arcanine is decent enough. This Ace Trainer won't halt your progression through the game or anything, but could still be a good fight, and is the best Ace Trainer in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Now we move on to Gen 2 with Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where trainers finally have names and the AI works for both trainers. There's 2 different regions to explore, so there's plenty of Ace Trainers. A good amount of Ace Trainers only have 1 or 2 Pokemon, so I can't really consider them the best. One of the first Ace Trainers you might run into is in Union Cave, just east of Azalea Town. After getting Surf, you get access to the 2nd floor of the basement where 3 Cool Trainers are. Emma with her single level 28 Poliwhirl, Nick with his Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, who are all level 26 and haven't fully evolved for some reason, and the best of the 3, Gwen with her level 26 Eevee and level 22 Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. Gwen is a pretty powerful trainer at the start of this game, considering you can fight her right after beating Morty, and his best Pokemon are on level 25. Your starter most likely won't even be fully evolved yet, so Gwen could easily send you back to the Pokemon Center with this diverse team. Most of the good Ace Trainers show up after you've beaten the 8th gym, with Claire and her level 40 Kingdra, and most of the time they don't compete with that. Like Cool Trainer Gavin on Route 26 with his level 32 Victory Bell, Kingler, and Flareon. A solid 3 Pokemon, but at this stage he's just in the way. And this really becomes a trend for the rest of the game, as not a single other Ace Trainer in the game has a Pokemon above level 38, even after beating the champion who has a level 50 Dragonite. Cool Trainer Carol on the post-game SS Aqua has a decent team, Electrode, Starmie, and Ninetales, but again are all level 35, so you won't even notice. So that makes Cool Trainer Gwen in Union Cave the best Ace Trainer in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Generation 3 is where the Ace Trainers really start to become a threat to your team, as they will often have levels close to the gym leaders you just faced, and will use healing items like Super Potions and Full Restores. There are slight differences in the teams from Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire, mostly just the names and minor level differences. While there are a few Ace Trainers early on, they don't have notable teams. After the 6th gym is where you can face one of the stronger Ace Trainers in Ruby and Sapphire. Cool Trainer Clyde is on Route 123, and is the first to have 5 Pokemon, which is more than Winona has. All are level 29, which is lower than Winona's weakest by 1, but it's still a lot to deal with. His Pokemon are Swellow, Trapinch, Wailmer, Magneton, and Shiftry. Not a bad lineup with plenty of coverage. In Emerald, his name is Braxton, and now they're all level 28. I would say this is the only good ace trainer where Ruby and Sapphire has the stronger version than Emerald. The Emerald version definitely makes them stronger, like cool trainer Julie in Victory Road with her level 42 Sandslash, Ninetales, and Tropius. The Tropius isn't present in Ruby and Sapphire. An ace trainer that's also better in Emerald is cool trainer Fidough of Victory Road. And fun fact, Fidough is the final member of the Windstreet family of Route 111, swapping out Swellow and Dodrio for a Netric and Electrode, while still keeping his Kadabra and Shiftry. For an NPC, it's not a bad team, but there's much better in Victory Road. A trainer that only appears in Emerald is ace trainer Caitlyn, who is right at the end of Victory Road. When your team is all beat up, low on PP, and you just want to leave, cool trainer Caitlyn is hiding under a bridge. And she's not alone, because unless you talk to her directly, cool trainer Quincy will also fight you at the same time, leading to a double battle. Caitlyn has a level 43 Gardevoir and a Slaking, and Quincy has a level 43 Dusclops and a Slaking. The powerful Pokemon they have, combined with the fact it's a double battle at the end of Victory Road, makes them the best ace trainers in Pokemon Emerald. Fire Red and Leaf Green see a return to Kanto and finally give the ace trainers of Gen 1 names and better teams. In fact, every single ace trainer in Fire Red and Leaf Green has 5 Pokemon. They're also only featured in gyms, Victory Road, and the post-game Sevi Islands. The first ever duo ace trainer class was created, known as the Cool Couple, but they only have 2 Pokemon, so it's an easy double battle. Cool Trainer Mary is the first ace trainer you'll likely run into, as she's a trainer in the Celadon City Gym. With nothing but grass types, all at level 22, she's really not a threat. It won't be until the final gym in Viridian that you see another ace trainer. Cool Trainer Samuel, Yuji, and Warren, all with 5 ground types and a similar structure of 2 duplicate Pokemon. Samuel and Warren, however, have a fully evolved Pokemon at level 39, being Nidoking and Nidoqueen respectively. But again, having an entire team that can just be wiped out by spamming Surf over and over again isn't going to be too difficult to face. The next batch is in Victory Road on the way to the Elite Four. Cool Trainer Colby takes the team of the second best ace trainer in RBY and adds a Poliwhirl and a Seadra. I mean, maybe if it was Poliwrath, things could have been scarier, but no. Cool Trainer Ronaldo can put up a fight with the middle stages of all the Kanto starters and a Charizard, but again, none of them compete with the ace trainer champion of RBY, now with a proper name, Cool Trainer George, adding an Electrode and a Sandslash to his team for even more coverage than before. George can definitely send you back to the start if you're not careful. There are 2 ace trainers at the 7th island, but they don't even come close to the rival you just beat to get there, making George the best ace trainer in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now we enter Gen 4 with Diamond and Pearl. Finally, they are officially called Ace Trainers. They were, however, scaled back from Fire Red and Leaf Green, as not a single Ace Trainer has more than 3 Pokemon. That doesn't mean there aren't difficult Ace Trainers to fight. A majority of them come after beating the Elite Four though, like Ace Trainer Felix with his level 55 Dusclops and Salamence, or Jamie with her level 56 Metagross. But after defeating Cynthia and her insanely powerful level 66 Garchomp, nothing post-game is going to be a threat. So we need to look at ace trainers that you'll have to fight early on, before your full team is really assembled. Ace Trainer Allen in Hearthome City Gym is basically like fighting Gym Leader Morty, as he has a full Ghastly line, including Gengar, which is pretty scary seeing an NPC with a 3rd stage evolution this early. And honestly, they don't get much better than that. Even in Victory Road, they just don't pose much of a threat at all. At least, not at first. There's an area that's unlocked in the post-game where 2 more ace trainers are located. I know I said post-game fights are trivial after the champion, but this fight is different, because you must fight them carrying around this thing. She's called Marley, and she makes every fight a mixed battle where she uses a single Arcanine. The 2 ace trainers, Micah and Brandy, each have 3 Pokemon, so if Arcanine goes down, it can be very challenging. The other important factor is the fog, which will be set for this fight unless you use Defog, but let's be real, nobody's using Defog, making this fight an RNG nightmare with every Pokemon having their accuracy reduced. That's why Micah and Brandy are the best ace trainers in Diamond and Pearl. In Platinum, the teams are changed up slightly, and still no ace trainer gets more than 3 Pokemon. Alan from Hearthome Gym has his team nerfed, as the Hearthome Gym is now the 3rd badge you receive, so he loses his Gengar. None of the changes really make any of the ace trainers harder to fight than in Diamond and Pearl, but the ace trainer in Victory Road gets a nice upgrade, going from a Blissey and a Golduck to a Blissey, Glalie, and Magnezone. There is one fight, however, that's pure nightmare fuel and is a big inspiration for making this video. In Gen 4, the Cool Couple is now gone, but what replaced them is the Double Team Trainer class. And on Route 210, we have Zach and Jen with a level 36 Raichu and Gyarados. I hate fighting them so much and dread it every playthrough. Only 2 Pokemon though. Again, they're in a fog area, and their synergy plus the lower accuracy of the fog, they can easily blow up your entire team. Easily the best ace trainers in Pokemon Platinum. Back to Johto with Heartgold and Soulsilver, and surprisingly, the game is extremely faithful to the original games. The teams and the Pokemon are nearly identical. A few of the Kanto ace trainers are different, but post-game Heartgold Soulsilver is known for being pretty easy. Ace Trainer Gwen in Union Cave is still the best ace trainer in the game with her 3 evolutions. With Generation 5 in Black and White, I was expecting some fierce competition from the ace trainers in these games. Again, only one ace trainer in the entire game has more than 3 Pokemon. The ace trainers that are really solid don't show up until the post game and actually have Pokemon that are much higher than the final boss of the game, so there really is potential there. As for the early game, there isn't any that would pose any challenge, just a bunch of ace trainers with 2 Pokemon, but nothing with insane power. Victory Road is when they start bringing some heat. Ace Trainer David has 3 Pokemon, Clang, Seismitoad, and Darmanitan, all level 44, which, compared to the 8th gym leader, is probably just as difficult since they only have 3 Pokemon. Seriously, why does nobody talk about the fact that not a single gym leader has more than 3 Pokemon in this game? Ace Trainer Dwayne only has 2 Pokemon, but they're both 3rd stage evolutions at least. Like I said, the best ace trainers are in the post game. In Challenger's Cave, Terry is the only ace trainer with 4 Pokemon, all level 63, although one of them is just a Dratini, so it's not that impressive. The best ace trainer in Black and White, Lucille, shows up in the big stadium randomly. She has 3 Pokemon at level 65, 11 levels higher than Ghetsis' ace Pokemon, Gliscor, Jinx, and Vaporeon. While not the most intimidating team ever, facing her right after beating the game can be a bit of a challenge since you'll most likely be underleveled. Black 2 and White 2 are really underwhelming when it comes to their ace trainers, which aren't affected by challenge mode, by the way. Nothing post-game even comes close to the challenge the Elite Four puts up. Like ace trainer Cheyenne on Route 1 has a cool team with a Heatmor, Umbreon, and Mismagius, but all are level 66, when Iris has a full team of level 70s. The only way any of the ace trainers become a challenge in this game is when you fight 2 of them at the same time. In Victory Road, Shanta and Webster have a double battle that without fire moves can be really tricky to get through. Seeing Ferrothorn is always pretty scary, and if your team is barely hanging on through Victory Road, these 2 can easily make your day much worse. So for Black 2, White 2, Webster and Shanta are the best 2 ace trainers. We move to the 3D era with Pokemon X and Y, the game that is notorious for being the easiest in the series. I mean, the Elite Four only have 4 Pokemon each, so obviously the ace trainers won't have more than 3 Pokemon in these games either. And there isn't even that many in this game at all. Only 20 ace trainers in total. 4 of them reside in the 8th gym, and they only have ice types. Shannon has as many Pokemon as the gym leader, and Theo has 2 fully evolved Pokemon. Still, they pose no threat. Well, maybe in Victory Road they have some potential. Ace Trainer Bents has a Steelix, Electrode, and a Kangaskhan, but unfortunately no Megastone, so this team will easily just be soloed by your over-leveled Mega Lucario. This probably goes for Robbie as well, who at least has a Kingdra. To find the best ace trainer, we need to go back before your team becomes wildly overpowered, even before both starters you receive get their 3rd stage evolution. The best ace trainer is Hildy, who is found on Route 22 with her level 29 Sharpedo and level 30 Gardevoir. I know it's not the craziest team ever, but hey, if you pick the fire starters, you might have some trouble with this fight. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's ace trainers have fallen a lot since the days of Gen 3. No longer are there any ace trainers with even 4 Pokemon. Even the double battle at the end of Victory Road and Emerald is gone. At this point, there's really only 2 ace trainers that could possibly make you hesitate just smashing the A button against them in any fight. Vito of Victory Road, aka the final member of the Winstraight family, with his team of level 44s, including a Belly Drum Darmanitan and a Self-Destruction Electrode. But like, dude, his Swalot has Swallow and Spit Up, but doesn't have Stockpile, meaning they literally do nothing. You really left your family behind for this? Anyway, the other okay ace trainer is Warren from Route 133, you know, the route with the crazy water currents, and his team of Lairon, Manectric, and Alakazam are all level 38, and honestly isn't too bad, but if you don't see him until post-game, which is pretty likely, he's getting destroyed. You know, we'll just call it a tie at this point. Generation 7's Sun and Moon sees very few new ace trainers. Most are post-game, and only 2 of them have more than 2 Pokemon. So for the most part, none of them are challenging. On the northern half of Route 5, ace trainer Alexis has a Gumi and a Sylveon at level 22 and 23 respectively. This fight is early enough that you might not have a full team or weaker Pokemon that could slow you down. Carla on Route 15 is one of the 2 ace trainers with 3 Pokemon. She has a Haunter, a Alolan Vulpix, and a Wigglytuff. Even though she has more Pokemon, you probably wouldn't even notice. There are 3 Ace Trainers in Sun and Moon, however, that actually use the gimmick of Gen 7 being Z moves. On Route 8, Eileen has a Wingull and a Pharaoh with Flyminium Z. Ace Trainer Lindsay in the Pony Wilds has a Garbodor and a Toxapex with Poisinium Z. And Ace Trainer Cole of the Pony Plains has a Drampa and a Goodra with Draginium Z. Now, having a fully evolved pseudo-legendary with a Z crystal sounds overpowered, but he can only be fought after the post-game, so this really isn't a challenge. Eileen's flying types just aren't really hard to deal with unless you have a team that really hates birds. So the best Ace Trainer is Lindsay. With Toxic Stall Garbodor and with the top tier Toxapex, she won't take you out, but will most likely do the most damage to a team not prepared for her. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are almost identical with its Ace Trainer teams with some slight changes. Cole now has 3 dragons and swaps his Goodra out for a Komodo. Even for a post-game fight, he might still surprise you. Lindsay still has the same poison team, but the other Ace Trainer of the Pony Wilds, Kikoa, has a better team with Granbull, Sharpedo, and Ampharos. While it's a diverse team, I don't think he's more of a challenge than Cole. Even with him being after you become champion, 3 dragon types will still be a tough fight to go up against, especially since he can only be faced after everyone in the area has been defeated. And that actually ends the run of the Ace Trainer class. They do not appear in Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet. Firered and Leafgreen were really the peak for the Ace Trainer class, because after that, they really started to drop in difficulty. I used to hate having to face them back in the day, because I knew I'd be using up heals afterwards. The difficulty drop-off might be because of the introduction of the Veteran Trainer class, which has most of them using 3 Pokemon, but sometimes even full teams of 6. I might cover them in another video. I hope the Ace Trainer class returns in Generation 10, but we might have seen the last of them. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, and let me know what you thought down below. Shout out to our members, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.